Well, the NBA draft is tonight, and I get it. The playoffs went long, the finals went to Game 7. It was a crazy, crazy few months of playoff basketball, but the draft is tonight, and you don't have any time to prepare. Well, folks, I got great news because I'm going to look at every lottery prospect and get you up to speed as quickly as humanly possible. So whether you're watching before the draft, after the draft, during the draft, it truly doesn't matter, folks. This is a great video to get you caught up with all of these prospects, what they do, what they can't do, what we think they might become. So without further ado, let's get into it. Obviously, to start, we got Cooper Flagg. I'll say this about Cooper, the stories are real. He is a generational player. He's not generational in the way that a Luka Doncic was coming into the league. No, Cooper Flagg is just a very complete prospect. I would say the most complete prospect we've ever seen. Is Cooper going to go out there his rookie year and have triple doubles and be a dominant on-ball scorer? No, that's not the case. But he's going to have a lot of 20-plus point games. He's going to have a lot of 14, 15 rebound games. He's going to have a lot of games with a few blocks. He's going to make incredible highlight plays. He's also an incredible defender right now. High energy, high IQ, great on the ball, incredible instincts of when to jump, when to take his chance, and of course, being 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan, springy as hell. But as an off-ball defender, there's a lot of value there too. Weak side rim protection. Having a guy that's locked in mentally and has all the physical tools in the world at his disposal, incredible. If I had to give a comparison for Cooper Flagg, and bear with me on this one, I would probably say he's going to be the LeBron James of Mikal Bridges. And I'm not talking Nets Mikal Bridges or Knicks Mikal Bridges, I'm talking Phoenix Suns. And I think this comparison will be true very, very quickly. End of his rookie year at the latest. Who knows how he'll develop as an on-ball scorer? But even if there are no leaps and bounds as an on-ball player, Cooper is still incredible right now. He's a perfect fit for this Mavericks team, and as a Mavericks fan, I am beyond excited. Up next, we got one of the two phenoms out of Rutgers, the 6'6" combo guard, Dylan Harper. I think Dylan Harper is probably the best downhill wing in the draft. He's 6'6", he's explosive, he's shifty, really tight handle, wide array of moves to finish around the rim. I see just a smidge of Amen Thompson when he's in transition, just finds a way to the rim. Obviously not the athlete, but a better shooter than Amen. Didn't shoot it great at Rutgers, around 33%, but golly, this kid is tough. He is a great flow state hooper, protects the ball, finishes well, gets downhill. If he can develop as a shooter, he's going to be an issue for NBA teams. The scariest thing about Dylan Harper to me is he's got the craftiness of Jalen Brunson, but he's 6'6". And while I like the Brunson comparison because they do play similarly, I think a Cade Cunningham or maybe a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would be better just because of the way he moves and the way he plays at his size and frame. I think Dylan could play the 1 or the 2 in the NBA. He's shown promise as a playmaker. He's got the vision. It's just always tough to tell in college because of the way the space is. But for a guy who hunts his own shot quite a bit, he's surprisingly good at finding dudes, especially off the dribble. Now, VJ Edgecombe might be the truth. VJ Edgecombe is just every point guard you see in the rec in 2K. He's got 99 speed, 99 driving dunk. Goodness gracious. The kid can just flat out fly. And he did a lot of that this past year. He shot it okay from 3 this year, 34 from 3. However, I love the way his jumper looks mechanically. Very sound, straight up and down. And I also like the shots that he hunts. This is important to me because if you shoot 33 from 3 and I see you're taking terrible dribble pull-ups, that's one thing, but he takes good shots. Lots of catch and shoots. He went crazy in this game against Cincinnati. Never trying to do too much, always doing just enough. As for a comparison here, I'll say 2 guys. I'm going to start with Ja Morant. He's extremely explosive, has a slighter frame though, and tends to just rely on his ability to jump higher than people to make plays more often than not. Plus, when he leaves his feet, he's a great improviser, has great touch around the rim, and is obviously an absolute freak in transition too. The bump and the finish is so tough. The second guy I'll throw out for a comparison, Russell Westbrook, 6'5", explosive point guard, absolute problem in transition. He's a solid playmaker too. He didn't come to Baylor as an elite point guard, but he's becoming one. And I think when you see guys grow a lot in 1 year of college basketball, it's good to bet on them after that. So with the growth that we've seen in 1 year of college basketball, I really do like VJ to continue to develop in this area and to become the point guard of some team's future. Up next, my favorite name in this draft, we got Kon Knueppel. Kon Knueppel can score the rock in bunches, and by bunches I mean 3. Sets his feet quickly, can get it up in a hurry. Kon is definitely the epitome of what all broadcasters call white guys. Just not the fastest, makes the most of his athletic abilities, smart, plays to his strengths. Very opportunistic scorer as well, great touch around the rim. The biggest concern for Knueppel is his lack of athleticism. He's not the quickest guy, but he is 6'7", got a decent wingspan, every bit of 215 pounds as well. And it's the smarts here that start to come into play too. He's in the passing lanes at the right time. Positionally, he's a fantastic defender. He's going to get a lot of these right time, right place steals and blocks. For a comparison here, I'm going to go with a super George Niang. The bones of who Kon and George are pretty similar, but I do think Kon Knueppel has the potential to be a very prolific scorer in this league. Up next, we have the second of the 2 Rutgers boys, Ace Bailey. 6'9", athletic as hell, long, bouncy, got a little bit of an attitude to him too. Ace Bailey is so fun to watch play basketball. Apparently, Ace has refused to work out for or interview with the Sixers, and I don't know why. I think that's a great fit for Ace. Apparently, his agent said he sees a better path to stardom in Washington. I'm not going to get into a whole rant, but that is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. You want to get paid, go prove that you can play for a winning team and contribute. But nonetheless, Ace is an incredible prospect. He's 6'9", athletic, rangy, and the most titillating part of his game to me, yeah, I said titillating, has got to be what he can do off of the dribble at that size. Pulling up is no problem for Ace. Coming off screens, catching and shooting, no problem. Posting up, turn around, fade away from the double, no problem. Getting downhill, taking a bump, gathering, floater, no problem. I haven't even talked about what he does on the defensive side of the floor yet. As a help side, transition, rim defender, my goodness, this kid is special. There are some questions about defensive discipline and motor, especially on ball and on the perimeter, but when he is engaged, we've seen very good things from Ace Bailey. This is a tough comparison, but if I had to give one, I like Jabari Smith Jr. here. Not quite as tall as Jabari, definitely a better athlete, but their games are very similar. A lot of catch and shoot, a lot of driving closeouts, help side rim protection, and the back to the basket game, somewhat similar as well. Trey Johnson, out of the University of Texas, is a walking bucket. Legitimate 3-level scorer already. In the NBA, he could go out there and get you 15 a game right now. He's a 6'6", true scoring 2-guard in the NBA, and he's going to be good. To me, he's that perfect mixture of finesse and power and finishing and shooting. I just think this kid is the whole package. He's just one of those dudes where you watch him in college and you're like, yeah, this guy's game is 1000% suited for the NBA. Right now, he's projected to go to Washington at 6, but I could even see him going earlier to Utah at 5. Either way, wherever he goes, he's going to score. The only questions that remain are if he can play off ball, if he can guard. My Trey Johnson comparison, got to be the man himself, Jay Crossover, Jamal Crawford. I see so much similarity within their games. But overall, I really like Trey Johnson. I think he's a solid pick for a team that needs a 2-guard. Up next, we got Jeremiah Fears, another scoring point guard. A lot of scoring guards in this draft here, but he's similar to Dylan Harper in the way that I love the way he gets downhill. The shooting still leaves a little bit to be desired, however. Shot just around 29% from 3, I believe, this past year. Fears has a great feel for the game when it comes to scoring with the ball in his hands. Really shifty, changes speeds, pace very, very well. Solid in the pick and roll as a playmaker, definitely leaves a little bit to be desired with reads. Sometimes you want him to be able to read the entire floor and not just play the 2-man game, but he is great in that 2-man game. However, the NBA is a pick and roll league, and that's where he is at his best, so we're going to see a lot of Jeremiah Fears next year with some team. Shooting is the big question mark here, but I do feel like he'll be solid in the NBA. I don't know if he'll become a knockdown guy, but the stroke looks smooth, it looks efficient, there's not a lot of wasted movement here. he just didn't shoot it too well. As far as comparisons go, I like Ayo Dosunmu, attacking guard that facilitates as well. But if he gets his shot right, man, he could be dynamic. He could be very, very dynamic. And I think that's what a lot of teams are banking on happening, especially if they end up taking this kid in the lottery. All right, now it's time for my favorite player in the draft. Egor Demin is a weirdo. He is an oddity. He is a 6'9" point guard with elite vision. Yes, you heard me correctly. A 6'9" point guard. The dude was born to play the position. Tight handle, great in the pick and roll, always finds the right guy, the open guy. He can make the easy pass, the spectacular pass. It doesn't matter. He's going to find who's open. Egor is completely unbothered by defenders crawling in when he's trying to read a defense and make a play. 5.5 assists in college isn't bad, but the tape tells me everything I need to know, man. This dude is a wizard. He is going to be a star in the NBA. I don't care. This isn't a Poku clone. No, this is a guy who can really, really flat out play. As far as scoring goes for Egor, he was not fantastic in any sense of the word. He shot around 40% from the field and 27 from three, but goodness gracious, he showed flashes. He's 6'9", 190, so he struggles with contact around the rim. His slender frame doesn't really help there either, but he does handle contact really well off the dribble, and I do think that NBA spacing will be big for Egor. You don't always have a big 260-pound behemoth waiting in the paint for you. As far as comparisons go, I like something like Josh Giddey, just an oversized, unconventional point guard, but I also like Kyle Anderson, Sean Livingston, just dudes who can see over the top of defenses and find guys all over the court. Up next, we got the pride of South Sudan, Khaman Maluach. This kid is a freak. I remember watching him at the Olympics and thinking, is this kid seriously about to be a freshman at Duke next year? And my amazement was not folly either. I don't know if I'm using that word right, but he dominated at Duke this year. I mean, 7'2". He's got to have a 7'6" wingspan. Hold up, let me check the measurements. A 7'5" wingspan at 7'2". I swear he makes it feel longer, pause. But to move that well at that size, goodness gracious. He's great in drop coverage as well. He moves his feet like he's 4 or 5 inches shorter than he is. He plays with good motor too, always running in transition, knowing that he can make a play at the rim if they let him. Great coordination in the pick and roll as well as a lob threat. The Blue Devils made a living out of this all season long. Finishes well through contact without the lobs. Extremely active on the glass, both sides of the floor. He didn't shoot it a ton this year, didn't even shoot a decent percentage, but he shot it well in his workouts and scouts are excited. Also, pretty sure he hit the Brunson burner after this one right here. That's tough. For his comparison, I like Clint Capella with a jumper. Maybe Fast Zubats is a good one. Khaman Maluach is the most sure thing in the draft this year. If your team needs a defensive anchor, a rim runner, a rim protector, someone with a paint presence on both sides of the floor, you better hope and pray to your GM that they draft this man Khaman Maluach because he's already 10-10. Already. All right, moving on to Kasparas Jakucionis, or as I like to call him, Casper the Friendly Ghost. At the University of Illinois, Kasparas did it all for the Fighting Illini. He shot the ball at a high level, at high volume too. He was a playmaker, averaged just under 6 assists a game, grabbed about 5 boards a game, and was not a liability on defense. Kasparas Jakucionis is really a jack of all trades. He's got great footwork, getting downhill, very patient, very good touch around the rim. Understands how to play on and off ball, repositions quickly, also super quick release on that shot. Uses his size and length really well, got really good separation at the college level, or just as much as he needed to get his shot off. There's not a lot of worry about him defensively at the next level. I think he'll be able to stay in front, but the biggest worry is will he be able to find the same separation that he did in college in the NBA? You can copy and paste the prototypical European scouting report. These guys are a coin flip on whether they'll work in the NBA for whatever reason, but like I said, he averaged just under 6 assists a game in college, which is very impressive. A pick and roll maestro, makes great decisions here. I love the pause and then the toss to the roll man after the help is decommitted. He's not Egor, but I do think he's a great option at the 2 for an extra ball mover, shot maker in the NBA. I'd love to see him go to a team that has winning aspirations already. For a comparison, I like a Svi Mikhailuk or maybe an Austin Reeves type comparison. Not a great, crazy athlete, but finds ways to get downhill, get his shot off, and also a smart distributor with the ball in his hands too. Up next, we got the 6'8", super raw, small forward, power forward, Carter Bryant out of Arizona. He's definitely the most raw guy that could go in the lottery. He only averaged about 6 points a game this year, but he's shown so much that I think there's a lot of teams that are going to be willing to take a chance on. Carter's one of the better athletes in this class at 6'8", and he's shown a lot of promise being able to shoot the ball from deep. This is a tough catch and shoot. High catch, still gets it down. The hope for whatever team does draft Carter Bryant is that he'll become the prototypical 3-and-D wing. He's a great defender. He's got good instincts. He's very active. The length, athleticism, it all comes into play here. His ability to recover is top-notch as well. He gets hit by the screen here, still blows through and gets a block. Carter will be a great defender right away. I think it's more so about developing the rest of the game. However, the pieces in the framework are already there. He's not that tough of a project. You know he can run and dunk. The jumper looks smooth. It looks mechanically sound, but you just haven't seen him do it at volume yet, but he'll get reps in the NBA. For a comparison, I'll go something like Jaden McDaniels or Kelly Oubre. He's really just your prototypical 3-and-D wing. That's the potential at least, but I hope whatever team takes him can develop him into that. Up next, we got Asa Newell, the big 4 man out of Georgia. Asa is bouncy, he's active on the glass, both ends of the floor, and over the course of the 2024-2025 season, he punched on a lot of people. However, the most intriguing thing about Asa Newell to me is that at 6'10", he looks great with the ball in his hands on the perimeter, very comfortable, and he can play down low too. He's not the biggest, strongest guy, but he's crafty enough on the block to be able to score. Very comfortable, taking the ball in transition, getting out and running, using that speed and athleticism and going and finishing. Showed promise to be able to shoot the tray ball as well. He could stand to add some weight and strength, but still, without that, he plays a very physical brand of basketball. He doesn't seem to be terrified of contact. However, he's got great touch around the rim, so those stop and pop floaters on the short roll are always a possibility. It never really fully came around for Asa as a shooter, but he shot it about 29%. The hope from NBA teams is that he can become a pick and pop big, maybe a small ball 5, but even at the 4, he handles the ball well enough on the perimeter and finishes well enough inside to play either position. For a comparison, I might go taller, skinnier Zebo. His back to the basket game is really, really solid. He plays a little bigger than he is frame-wise, but David Lee also might be a good one. Comfortable back to the basket, facing up, crafty down low, clearly comfortable shooting the 3 ball, but he attacks the offensive glass like a young Brandon Clark. Either way, Asa Newell is a very tantalizing prospect for any NBA team. Up next, we have the Frenchman Noa Essengue. That one, I'm not sure if I'm saying the name right, but this dude is a freak defensively. He's 6'9", 6'10"-ish with a 6'11" wingspan, and my goodness, he is comfortable guarding 1 through 4 on the basketball court. Look at this kid's feet. At 19 years old, he is moving his feet. This is in the Euro Cup. He's playing with grown men, playing against pros, and he looks this comfortable out there. Of every guy I've mentioned so far, Noah is the guy who needs to go to a winning team right away. That is where his value will be most realized. He averaged 2 blocks a game. He guarded just about the toughest assignment in every game that he played overseas. This kid is special defensively. Offers good value as a help side rim protector on ball. Doesn't matter. He is all over the place. He will give you value on the defensive end just by being on the floor. Noah is that rare combination of good positionally, good IQ on that end, so he's going to be in the right place at the right time, but also has all the capability, all the physical tools to make plays on the defensive end, so he's just an absolute terror down there. I would not be surprised to see a team with championship aspirations trade up for Noah. I got to talk about his offense a little bit, of course. He's comfortable in transition, runs the floor like a gazelle. He plays at his best, though, as a cutter, as a mover off the ball. He showed that he can shoot the 3-ball a little bit, shot at about 27%, but he's really not hunting that shot. He wants to finish at the rim. He wants to be a mover without the ball. For a comparison, I see Tayshaun Prince here, and I see it very loudly. Tayshaun, French Prince of Bel-Air, goodness gracious. I think this kid is going to be really, really special at the next level. If he can get an offensive game, two-way freak, two-way demon, look out NBA. Last but definitely not least, the oldest guy I've talked about today, we got Cedric Coward, the almost 22-year-old from Washington State. Injury cut his season short. However, what he showed when he was playing, goodness gracious, this kid can fill it up. 6'6" shooting guard with a 7-foot wingspan, y'all. This is a 2K build, man. He's comfortable shooting the ball off the catch, off the dribble, gets to his spots, rises up, and hits. He can score at 3 levels, and it's not a question. Does not need anyone else to set him up to score, but can play within a system. Showed a little bit of vision, too. Look at that skip pass out of the post up. Really physical, too. Really, really comfortable just beating dudes up in the post. I think there's a lot of defensive upside for Cedric as well. He's an active, handsy defender that uses his length very well. He's a really opportunistic defender, always looking to get his hands on the ball, whether he's on or off. But he plays with great motor, great energy. From what I heard, he's an awesome leader, a real team-first kind of guy. For his comparison, I think I gotta go Michael Finley. His game is real reminiscent. The jumper is silky smooth. Big dude, athletic dude, but hunts the jumper at all 3 levels. Once he gets to his spot, there's really not much you can do other than just pray that he misses. But I really like Cedric Coward's game, man. He's aesthetically pleasing, he's silky smooth, plays at his own pace, seemingly always in rhythm. And the thing that speaks the loudest to me about Cedric is that he played 6 games this year before getting hurt. He's 22 years old, and he's still being talked about as a lottery pick. Well, that's a little something from just about every lottery prospect, in my opinion. Those are my top 14 guys, but if you like this, I would hope that you would like and subscribe. Leave a comment on who you think is going to be the best player out of this draft class, and be sure to come back for more from old Dookie Boy.